everyone, it's me Emily. Today I am so excited because I'm finally doing another nice long speed build on my island. Today I was really inspired by a video I made recently, which was 5 waterfall ideas, and there was this one idea that I just ended up loving so much. It was this really pretty sunken waterfall, so that's what I wanted to create today. I will say I had a little bit of trouble doing my voiceover today. For some reason I feel like I was just a bit all over the place, but hopefully you guys still enjoy it, and with that let's get on with the video. So let me come and show you the area that I'm going to be working on. I decided that the best space for this to be would be right next to my house. My whole house layer is in this kind of Fairycore section, so I think it will fit in really nicely. The very first thing I have to do is actually cut into this layer of my cliff. So I'm on the second layer of my island, but the build is going to come down and be on the first layer. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, you can see I'm kind of cutting away this gap into the cliff. And then once the build is over, I'll be filling in that little pathway that I cut out, so that all we're left with is just this sunken area. So yeah, that's the very first thing that I wanted to do. And now I'm coming through and putting in this waterfall all along the left and the right side. And I just wanted to check how it looked, but I think for the actual build I'm going to remove the waterfall whilst I build, just so that it wasn't too distracting. And then I want to fill in this section with some pathing. It's the pathing that I already have going on leading up towards my house, plus I feel like for Fairycore the colours that I would use are mainly pink and blue, and I feel like yellow pathing looks really nice with that, so that's what I'm going to go with. And then I'm adding some sparkles just kind of all throughout to make it a little bit more mystical, I guess, or just a bit more interesting. And if you ever want a custom design that I use, like always, please just leave me a comment. This build was one that I didn't really have much planned out for. I knew the concept, but I didn't really know what type of furniture I wanted to use, so there was a lot of trial and error, I would say. I tried with these frozen towers. I don't remember what they're called. Oh, I think they're called frozen pillars, because I thought it might be cute to have them kind of coming out of a cliff, but the reason why I ended up changing it is because I wanted everything to kind of be within the cliff's height, if that makes sense. I just didn't like how much the frozen pillars were standing out. Whereas these cute little polar bears, the frozen sculptures, are so pretty and definitely I feel like fit in nicely with the kind of Fairycore element. So I'm just going to grab out a bit more furniture from my storage. And then I came over to the side just to drop some of the furniture because my pockets were too full to get all the things that I wanted. And I like having a lot of furniture to work with because I really like trial and error and just figuring out what I like. And I think the frozen sculptures are just so gorgeous. The frozen furniture in general is so pretty. And actually this Easter tree is part of the Bunny Day furniture that they sell in Nook's Cranny. And I think it is just so elegant and pretty. I had this little grass standee and I customized it to be white, which is the kind of winter customization. And it tied in really nicely with the frozen sculptures because the colouring is very, very similar. And then I took this Nova light, which I've also customized to be white, just to help tie everything together. Normally on my island I don't make anything too symmetrical, but for this I did decide to try and keep everything pretty much the same. And then I actually went ahead and just stole the wedding archway. I will replace the one that I took from the pathing, but I felt like maybe I would like an archway in this build and the wedding one would have fit really nicely because again the colours are all working together. I'm gonna quickly grab some more furniture. Okay, I got everything that I was needing. I actually had to go all the way to Halves Island to get stuff customized, but I got these little street lamps with the hanging like little flags or whatever, and I thought they were going to be perfect, but they ended up being so much bigger than I thought. The space that they wanted to take up was quite big. I went ahead and tried putting them at the back, but you can see they didn't push into the side like I kind of thought they would. They were just a bit bigger than I was expecting. Or I guess they weren't bigger than I was expecting because I knew that they went out to the side, but they didn't fit in nicely with the cliffs. So I am going to replace the frozen sculptures. I feel like I had it right the first time. I guess I didn't need to go back and change it. I have this white log stool, and I'm going to place a Nova light on top of it. It helps raise it up a little bit so that it's not just sitting on the floor. There we go, 2 pretty Nova lights. The Nova lights in general are just so gorgeous. I feel like a lot of the furniture Celeste gives you is really, really pretty, but yeah, the Nova lights especially, and the crescent moon chairs I love. I tried coming in with a tree. I wanted to add some kind of nature, but the tree hid way too much of the build. It was just way bigger than what I needed, but luckily I do have these little trees that I've planted. So this is a pretty like well-known Animal Crossing tip, I think, which is where if you want to keep a tree small, you just grow it to the height you want and then bury a piece of fruit behind it, and that will stop it from growing any bigger, so it kind of stunts the tree's growth. So yeah, I went ahead, I'm just going to replace the wedding arch because I didn't end up wanting it, and then coming down and taking these mini trees and adding in them, and then I'm actually putting the apple of a piece of fruit in front. Normally you put it behind to hide it, but today I have the cliff to kind of hide the fruit, so in front works better because it means I don't have to dig up any of my pathing. I came in with a little flower. I tried out the white tulip, but the white tulip is a little bit too cream coloured. It's one of those weird things where the different furniture, oh my gosh, not furniture, the different flowers have different colours, so even though they're all white, the tulips are really creamy coloured, whereas like the hyacinths are more white. What I'm doing here is creating a little curve into the pathing because I want an extra tile of space so that I can have the hyacinths not be completely lined up with the tree. So on this side I'm going to move this hyacinth now back into its spot kind of behind the tree, and I just think that that looks a bit better, a little bit less, it didn't look quite right with them directly next to each other. And then I'm placing a bubble machine here and pushing it right back towards the middle so that you can't see it. And what I especially love about this is that you don't see the machine, so all you're left with is the bubbles kind of floating up. It definitely adds to the Fairycore vibe, and yeah, I was just really happy with how that looked. Adding a couple more sparkles right in front, and I think this is the actual finished part of the sunken waterfall. So now I can add the water in finally. All I'm doing is coming all the way around with my waterscaping tool and creating this big waterfall, I guess. Yeah, so just coming in with that. Unfortunately you can't put water right in those corners, but I think it still looks okay without it. And it turns out so pretty. The water really just brought the whole build together as I came round and added it. I feel like, I don't know, I just love it. I love waterfalls in general. But yeah, that is a finished sunken waterfall. So I'm now going to be filling in this cliff all the way back. And then what I'll be doing is coming around and decorating the top of the waterfall. So I'm going to quickly customize some of my fencing into be a white colour. I felt like white would just fit the rest of the build that little bit more. And I think that is everything I'm going to customize. And now I'm going to start placing this fencing. I kind of wanted to create like a little bit of a barrier, but there's actually a bridge to the right. So the first thing I'm going to do is come through and place some terracotta pathing leading to the right. all the way down just to create a path for that, and then I'll be decorating the top of the waterfall. And of course, it's no surprise that I am going to be adding some more of those little sparkles all along this piece of pathing. Very cute, very simple. I like how that looks. Now I'm going to come in with the white simple wooden fencing and start seeing how I want to use this. Some flowers placed in the back look really nice. I tried placing the fencing here, but I didn't like how it basically made the build completely inaccessible. Like with the fencing right there, the only way to get through to that back incline would be to run all the way around, so I removed it and then went with the fencing kind of in front of the pathing, so hopefully that makes it a little bit more accessible and easy to run through. Of course, I do have to come through and add some sparkles underneath my fencing, otherwise to me it just doesn't look as Fairycore as I would like it to. I do apologise if you can hear my animals. I've got a cat and then my little puppy dog Bumble has just come to say hi, so she is sat next to me, so she might make some noises. I came back through with this simple fencing. I actually really like how it looks. It's so cute. And I remember there was this whole thing where basically they added the customizable fencing in an update. But before that, they had used white simple fencing in one of the like trailers for Animal Crossing, so everyone thought it was going to be in the game. And then I remember people saying how it was really weird that they didn't add it. So I think that's why Nintendo ended up adding the simple fencing that was customizable back into the game. Glowing moss is just the ultimate Fairycore item. Whenever you see me placing moss or weeds and picking it up and down again several times, that's because I want a specific way of it being planted. So in this case, I wanted the moss to be a little bit not one of the big ones. But yeah, that was basically the last thing I did. It did come on to rain whilst I was filming, I only just realised that. But yeah, I really hope you guys all liked this area. I am so proud of it. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, so I really hope you guys like it too. And with that, just let me thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!